So the next one, the third one is well-being. And well-being focuses more on health and vitality. We need to take care of our body because that is the only vehicle we have. We move with from birth to death, and taking care of it, will enhance our strength and make our mental acuity. And that's why we need to focus on ensuring that we engage in whatever that will give us total well-being. So the fourth one again is about money and value. That's where we talk and think about sufficiency and stability in life. And it is the energy, that makes us either to feel that we are free or being bound. It's a suspect when it comes to spirituality, especially having to have an add mix of monetary value to religious terms. And like I said, that's what shows whether we are free, it's a driving force in terms of whether we are free or not. So the next one is on exploring the mind. It talks about the nature of our inner world, and it helps us to have a subjective view of how things are. And the world is perceived through belief. The interpretation would give it an association, and it's actually not the way it is, or rather how we see it. That is what the exploring of the mind, tells us. We actually define the world most times, not necessarily the way they are. And for us to really get the best out of it is actually, seeing it as is and liberating our minds and imagination so that we'll be able to, get it all through. So the next one, it takes us to intuition. Intuition simply, takes us through the subconscious guidance to make fully informed decision. Like but Einstein says that imagination is more important than knowledge. You can create the world if you have that intuitive ability to think through it. Most times, knowledge you have might not be able to be that creative, but once we can have that inner calling to be able to see things beyond what others or the way others have interpreted it, will help us to do more and produce more. Then we go to the next one, which is about feeling, the nature of feeling. It's a feeling that either can set us to have that freedom, especially emotional freedom, to feel good or to feel bad. It also helps us to learn to accept our emotion without, forcing them. And that's one of the greatest issues we've always had in life. I remember myself when I used to have fear of failure, and that was really setting the pace for how I was performing in whatever I was doing then. And of late, I've realized that according to what's his name, Alan or whatever, said that as you think your mind, so is it. So you have to change your mind, your feelings, and how you think about things, and to be able to, get things going the right way. So on courage, actually, which was kind of a mix of what I was saying earlier as well, is about confronting our fears. And we always have the fear of failure or success. If we embrace it, it will help us to live life fully. We'll feel and act. Acting with courage is the best way to live life. And we also should know that courage is not the absence of fear, but conquering it. Then, Kwaki, how many more minutes do I have? Sorry.
You have 2 more minutes.
Okay, sorry. So,
but if there are no questions, you'll be able to continue.
I have. Yeah. So, and knowledge. The other one is knowing self. it's the wholeness in shadows, accepting full scope of humanity. That's what brings out our originality rather than a shadowy persona. I mean, you think about when we are kids, who tell the truth and say things as they are, but growing up, we start, giving some shadowy lies and the rest of them. In fact, this is what leads us to growth and transformation, knowing and understanding ourselves. And also on the basis of the principles of sexuality, this is, where we consider pressure. It defines how we become creative in the use of our sexual energy rather than denying it. So we have to accept it and we have to, take it as is. So the last one, in service and meaning, that's the circle of life. The major reason why we are here is to serve others, and having the preoccupation to align ourselves to the world is through service. So this is where I end it.
Hello.
Thank you.
All right. So pretty much just to react what you've shared with us, I'm just going to go over it again. Let me add some more things to what you said. Pretty much what you've shared with us is more onto the third part of chapter 1, talking about smartening up. And smartening up is just about being intentional about life. A lot of people are not intentional about life. And they're always looking for someone else to help them because they're not taking charge of their lives, and the devil comes and adds this thing to them and tell them about his destiny helper.
There is a question, Uncle Ati.
Go ahead. What's the question? Go ahead. Read it for me, please.
Okay,
don't mind.
So the question is, kindly throw a light on how I can smarten up through what you shared.
All right. And
that's what he's answering now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So smarten up is to be intentional about life. Is to take hold of your life. Is to be responsible for your life. Is to stop blaming people for who you are or where you are in life. I mean, if you are 18 and above, you have no right to blame your parents anymore, right? You now your responsibility, irrespective of what your parents did up to that point. You're not an adult, so you have no right to blame any other person for your life. You are the one responsible for your life. And that is by waking up to that responsibility of life, that I am responsible. I am the creator. I am the reason why I am. I am the reason why I have what I have. I am the reason why I will be what I would be. So that's the whole idea about waking up to the responsibility of life, right? That's all it means as a summary,